Good Friday afternoon, everybody. My name is Eli Robinson. I am the Chief Trivia Officer here at Water Cooler Trivia. It's the fifth week of September. We bring you a weekly trivia game. We bring the entire English-speaking world a weekly trivia game that is to be shared with your company, organization, group, whatever it may be. And then we go over it online, YouTube, Twitch, etc. You can find us online at watercoolertrivia.com. We have a 4-week free trial, and then we're only $1 a user a month if you want to try it out for your company or your group. You can find me online at Chief Trivia Officer. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on TikTok. And we can talk trivia whenever you want to. Let's get to this week's game. So this week, 5,124 users, a little bit down from last week. We had Jewish High Holiday on Monday, as well as the fact that we picked a sports topic this week, which may have turned a few people off. Average of 8.09, which is a lot higher than normal. With a median of 9, we usually have a median of 8. I think there was a little bit of a selection bias going on here. I think a number of people who probably weren't that into football saw the questions, were like, hey, get me out of here, I don't want any football, and so they didn't answer, and then that kind of led the pool of people who decided to answer to do a little bit better. We like the peak of 9, around a quarter of the people. Our perfect scores of 10 were a little bit higher than we would have thought. Questions 9 and question 10 were designed to be a little bit harder than they ended up being, which totally makes sense. But ultimately, pretty happy with this week's performance across the board. So we set up this week's game with a pretty simple introduction. Are you ready for some football? Maybe, maybe not. As we know, sports questions are questions that really can get to people. It is not a particularly inclusive topic. And so the way that we kind of cut at it this time was we asked 2 questions within one. So for numbers 1 through 10, we'll ask you a football question and a non-football B question, and both questions will have the same answer, right? So you can either cut at it by knowing the football term or cut at it by knowing the non-football term. All right, so let's take a look at it. Number 1, running or passing a ball into the opponent's end zone gets your team what 6-point score? And B, my fiance will dump me if I clap during what event when all of a plane's wheels safely hit the runway? That would be touchdown. I did confirm with her after I wrote this that she would in fact do that. I think her quote was, I don't understand why people clap. And I'm the same way. But touchdown, 91% correct. Very good. Number 2, run hard at the opposing team, then pass it off to someone going the other way. That's a trick play that goes by what R word? And do in a traditional Uno deck, what non-number card sends play in the opposite direction? That, of course, is a reverse. 97% correct, one of the highest percentage corrects we've had. And question number 3 was the same way. A long, desperate pass for a last-minute score goes by what religious name? And B, thank Pope Pius V for the current form of what prayer to Jesus, his mother? Of course, that would be the Hail Mary, also 97% correct. Question number 4, a block that leaves a defensive player very flat on their back goes by what breakfasty term? And B, the P in IHOP stands for what thing with a lot of real estate on their menu? Of course, that would be the pancake. As you can see, it was sports. We wanted to ease people in. Number 5, not counting the location, was the only NFL team name with more than 3 syllables. And B, the Sutter's Mill gold mines attracted mid-19th century prospectors known by what timely nickname? So the answer is 49ers. I had to go back and look at the syllables to make sure. We got a lot of Buccaneers, but as far as I can tell it, Buccaneers is 3, and same with Commanders. So I'm pretty sure when we wrote that the 49ers are the only over 3 syllable team name, but I guess I could be proven wrong. 83% correct. That tripped a few people up. Receivers fake a route. Blockers misdirect the defense, and the quarterback moves towards either sideline behind the line of scrimmage. That's a tricksy play known by what black market term? And B, smugglers eluded George III's King's Coast Guardsmen by hiding whiskey in their footwear. That's the pretty straightforward origin for what term for contraband hooch? Of course, that would be bootleg. Bootleg, quarterback running off to the sideline, and when they put whiskey in their boot, 76% correct. Tiny Mite and Pee Wee are some of the doofy divisions in a youth football league named after Pop Who? And B, residing in a movie studio water tower with their own name on it, Yakko, Wacko, and Dot are zany and Animaniac stars with what near the end of the alphabet surname? That would be Warner, Pop Warner, one of the early innovators in football. And yeah, whether or not you knew it, the Animaniacs' last name is in fact Warner. And then the number 8, I believe, 4 of the past 10 NCAA national titles were rolled up by a Tuscaloosa school whose team goes by what nickname? It's not Roll Tide. I thought that was funny that people asked that. Answered that. B, Denzel Washington, Gene Hackman fight for control of the nukes on the USS Alabama in what 1995 submarine thriller? We got a lot of Hunt for Red October guesses. I do not know a college sports team that goes by the Hunt for Red October, although that would be pretty bada if that was the case. No, it would be the Crimson Tide, the Alabama Crimson Tide. That was the name of the Hackman and Washington movie. The quarterback pump fakes with their throwing arm while handing off the ball with the other. That's a trick play known by what nickname? And B, history has it that the first ticker tape parade in New York City occurred on October 28th, 1886, when New Yorkers spontaneously celebrated the arrival of what woman to Lower Manhattan? The woman, of course, designed to throw people off. It was not a queen. It was not any famous celebrities. It, of course, was Lady Liberty, the Statue of Liberty play. Most recently, I think, famously run by Boise State against Oklahoma in a Fiesta Bowl. 69% correct. And then finally, question number 10, the wide receiver runs inward near the line of scrimmage in what elusive screen passing play? And B, as part of the larger underwear as outerwear trend that really took off in the 90s, Kate Moss, Courtney Love, and Cher Horowitz, of course, of Clueless fame, popularized what silky dress style with narrow shoulder straps? That would be the slip, a slip screen, or the dress called a slip, only 53%. We thought these two questions would be a little bit harder. I would have had them down in the 50s and 40s, but ultimately, we don't really get upset when people know the answers to the thing around water cooler. Here's the question-by-question performance, looking very similar to what we would have expected. Easier ones at the beginning, and you get towards the more difficult ones as you go down. Scores once again. See how you did this week. My name's Eli Robinson. I'm the Chief Trivia Officer at Water Cooler Trivia. Check us out at watercoolertrivia.com. Sign up for your 4-week free trial, and we will see you next week.